The following is a CBS 6 special presentation. For those who have served in the United States Armed Forces, today we say thank you. Live from the Virginia War Memorial, this is the 64th Annual Commonwealth's Veterans Day Ceremony.
Good morning. Welcome to the Commonwealth's Veterans Day celebration for 2020. My name is Clay Mountcastle. I'm the director of the Virginia War Memorial, and as always, I'm honored to have you all joining us today, either here in person at Veterans Hall or virtually from home. We are pleased to have Governor Northam with us this morning, and I'm also joined on stage by Virginia's Secretary of Defense and of Veterans and Defense Affairs, Carlos Hopkins, Commissioner of Virginia's Department of Veteran Services, John Maxwell, Staff Sergeant Eddie Jones of the Virginia Army National Guard, and Mr. Chad Hulsey of the Hanover County Fire Department. Of course, I'd like to offer a warm welcome and special thanks to all of our veterans in attendance and to those viewing this program. After all, today is about you. The year 2020 and a global pandemic continue to rob us of our normal experiences. Usually, this ceremony would be held outdoors in Heilman Amphitheater with hundreds, if not thousands, in attendance. On a rainy day like today, we would normally move into our shrine of memory and carry on. But we cannot gather in large numbers or in close spaces these days. Safety comes first, and any veteran will tell you that. But being safe does not negate the need to acknowledge the service and sacrifice of our women and men in uniform. No pandemic, no social unrest, no national political dialogue, not even a rainy day, is going to deter or otherwise drown out our annual thank you to veterans. The men and women of the U.S. military, past and present, have never failed us. We should remember that fact every single day, no matter what the year or political climate. Military service is increasingly rare in this country. Less than 7% of the U.S. population has worn the uniform. That small slice of Americans represents the best of us. Veterans love this country, and we must never fail to love them back. To begin our program, I would ask you to stand, if possible, for those here in attendance or at home, for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Staff Sergeant Jones and our national anthem sung by Chad Hulsey.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Thank you, Chad. It's wonderful. It's not easy, is it? At this time, I would like to invite the Commissioner of the Virginia Department of Veterans Services to the podium to deliver a few remarks. Commissioner Maxwell.
Well, thank you, Dr. Mountcastle. Good morning and welcome to Governor Northam, Secretary Hopkins, General Williams, our special guests, and my fellow veterans and Virginians. Thank you for celebrating Veterans Day with us today. I was appointed commissioner this past February, so today's my first opportunity to participate in this annual celebration. It is truly my honor and privilege to join in recognizing Virginians who proudly wore the cloth of our nation. I also want to thank all who planned the ceremony, especially the War Memorial staff and our communications team. It was no small feat given COVID and now rain. On November 2nd, 1783, in his farewell to troops, George Washington aptly described the debt to our veterans. He said, "It is universally acknowledged that the enlarged prospect of happiness, opened by the confirmation of our independence and sovereignty, almost exceeds the power of description. And shall not the brave men who have contributed so essentially to these inestimable acquisitions, retiring victorious from the field of war to the field of agriculture, participate in all the blessings which have been obtained?" Like the citizen soldiers that George Washington addressed in 1783, you and your family sacrificed for the ideals that our founders upheld as they guided the United States of America in its infancy. You kept your oath to bear true faith and allegiance to our Constitution and the country whose course it directs. On behalf of the Virginia Department of Veterans Services, please accept our most sincere gratitude for your service to our country. To use George Washington's words, we want to help you receive all the blessings that this nation has obtained. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Virginia's Secretary of Veterans and Defense Affairs, Carlos Hopkins. A graduate of the Citadel and the University of Richmond Law School, Secretary Hopkins was appointed to his position in September 2017. He is a U.S. Army veteran and continues to serve as a colonel in Virginia's Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Carlos Hopkins.
Thank you, Commissioner Maxwell, Governor Northam, Dr. Mountcastle, and to the men and women of our armed services, our veterans and their families, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy Veterans Day. You know, here in Virginia, we understand the incredible debt that's owed to our men and women in uniform, to those who've served this great nation. And so that's why each and every day, all of us here within the Secretariat follow the governor's guidance in making sure that we make Virginia the most friendly state for our military, our active, and our veterans components. I'm extremely proud to serve in our armed forces and to come from a family of men and women who served in our armed forces as well. And so days like Veterans Day are especially meaningful to me, and I'm especially proud to be able to serve Virginia and the men and women in our great Commonwealth. You know, 1 in every 12 Virginians is a veteran. We have one of the largest percentages per population of any state in our great nation. And so that's why it's incredibly important that every year we make sure we're working hard to honor the men and women who've served. And so I want to share just a few of those items that we've expanded just since last year when we were able to come together. We've expanded spousal licensing and made it easier for our military spouses who face an incredible challenge with unemployment and underemployment to get professional licenses here in the Commonwealth. You know, each and every day we understand that that person in uniform can only be as effective as the spouse and the family that support them. And we want to do everything we can here in Virginia to make sure that we're taking care of our military spouses both in uniform and when they leave the service. And I also want to recognize that just in the past year alone, we've expanded the opportunity for our veterans who have medical experience to work with our partner healthcare systems here in the Commonwealth. We understand the incredible skills and abilities that veterans provide to their communities. We know that veterans here in Virginia, they're school teachers, they're nurses, they're scoutmasters, they're pastors, they're lay leaders across our Commonwealth. And we want to make sure that for the special skills that they bring, that we want to make sure here in Virginia, we provide them every opportunity to utilize those skills on behalf of our Commonwealth. For our military-connected school children, we understand the challenges of transition from going to that active role to that veteran status. And that's why here in Virginia, we make sure that we expanded our Purple Star designation, adding more than 22 schools to the list of Purple Star designees so that our transitioning service members, as they become our veterans, understand the military resources available for their school children. So it's been an incredible effort just over the past year to make sure that we're reaching out and talking to veterans communities. As I and my team travel the Commonwealth, we hear from the veteran service organizations. How can we help you? What can we do here in Virginia? How can we make sure that we are the #1 state for military retirees and for our veterans communities? And so we've put into place those legislative initiatives, those executive actions, to make sure that we take care of the incredible men and women who've served this nation. Because as the Commissioner indicated, there is no debt too great. We can never fully repay them for everything they've given to us. And so it's extremely humbling to be able to introduce our next speaker, our keynote for the day, a veteran himself whose family has lived the life that so many in our armed services understand. The separations from family, the raising your children in different parts of the world. In our governor's case, in Germany and in the U.S. Understanding that transition that so many of Virginia's 700,000 veterans had to experience during their military careers. You know, before he was governor, Governor Northam was lieutenant governor, he was a state senator. But most importantly, he's a proud veteran and a family man. And so he and his wife, Pam, like so many of our veterans, raised their children while he was deployed, serving and treating wounded service members from Operation Desert Storm. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed my great honor and privilege to introduce to you 73rd Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, His Excellency, Ralph Northam.
Well, good morning. And Secretary Hopkins, first of all, thank you for your kind words. And also, on behalf of our Commonwealth and our country, I want to thank you and your staff for all the service that you have provided and also all that you do for our men and women who are active duty and also for our veterans. So on behalf of Virginia, thank you so much. I also want to recognize Senator McClellan and Delegate McGuire. Thank you all so much for being here today and joining us. And also thanks for all that you do for our veterans and their families. To Dr. Mountcastle, what a wonderful asset this is to Virginia and this country, a place where loved ones can come and pay tribute to their family members and friends who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So we really appreciate your leadership and also your hospitality today. And we have a real treat coming. I've had the opportunity to meet Neve and Matt. Neve is a 7th grader from Northern Virginia. Matt is an 11th grader from here in Richmond, and they are our essay winners, and they have written about the importance of recognizing our veterans. So to Matt and Neve and to your families, congratulations and thanks so much for being here today. And to all of you who have joined us both in person and viewing from home or other places, we welcome you and thanks for allowing me the opportunity to address you today. And most importantly, as Secretary Hopkins said, thank you so much to our veterans and their families. It is because of your service that this country that our country stays and our democracy stays so strong. We are here to honor all of those who have served in our armed forces, past and present, and to thank the future veterans who are still serving. Virginia is home to 721,000, I'll repeat that, 721,000 men and women who have served. In fact, 1 in every 12 Virginians is a veteran. I myself, as Carlos said, am a proud veteran of the United States Army. My father, now aged 96, a member of the greatest generation, served during World War II in the United States Navy. My brother, Tom, as well served in the United States Navy. And so something that Carlos said, and I want to strongly reinforce it, is that on behalf of all of our veterans, we could not have done what we have been able to accomplish without the support of our families. And so to all of the families and all of the individuals that have supported our veterans over the years, on behalf of Virginia, I say thank you. Our veterans continue to serve our Commonwealth every day. They are first responders, healthcare workers, teachers, and students. They build everything from ships to computer networks. They are part of our largest businesses and our newest startups. No other state, as Carlos said, works harder or does more than our Commonwealth of Virginia to recognize and show appreciation to those who have served our country. We take seriously our obligation to make sure our veterans and their families can access the benefits that they have duly earned through the work of our Department of Veteran Services. I am also proud of our Virginia Values Veterans Program, known as the V3 program, which works with more than 2,100 V3 partner employers statewide to help veterans and transitioning service members find jobs in the civilian workforce. When I became governor 3 years ago, I set a goal of 35,000 veterans hired through the V3 program during our administration. Last month, I'm proud to let you know that V3 met and exceeded this goal a year early. Since it began 8 years ago, V3 has been responsible for the hiring of more than 66,000 Virginia veterans. So, Secretary Hopkins and your staff, thank you for a job well done. Making sure we keep our highly skilled veterans employed in the Commonwealth when they leave active duty is important to all of us as they greatly strengthen our state economy. Over 108,000 of Virginia veterans are women, the largest percentage of women veterans per population of any state. Virginia has led the way in recognizing that women veterans face unique challenges and opportunities. The Virginia Department of Veteran Services has initiated numerous special programs and services for women veterans, including the annual Virginia Women's Veterans Summit. More than 800 participated in this year's virtual summit in June. We're also working to fight the epidemic of suicide among our veterans. Sadly, on average, 17 veterans take their own lives across the United States each day. I want to repeat that. 17 veterans take their own lives across the United States each day. We need to do more than just say, thank you for your service. We need to remind our veterans each and every day that they are heroes and that they are patriots. Virginia was one of the first states to become part of the Governor's Challenge to prevent veteran suicide among service members, veterans, and their families. Virginia's challenge team, led by our Virginia Secretary of Veterans and Defense Affairs, Carlos Hopkins, and Virginia Secretary of Health and Human Resources, Dr. Daniel Carey, is working with federal, state agencies and local agencies and nonprofits to make sure that veterans who are struggling with mental and behavioral issues get connected with the help they need. As a physician, I am keenly aware that as the veteran population ages, the need for long-term care increases. Virginia provides this at our state veterans homes in Richmond and Roanoke, and will provide the same service at our new care centers now under construction in Fauquier County and in Virginia Beach. You know, veterans also deserve a dignified and beautiful final resting place, which Virginia provides at our state veteran cemeteries in Amelia, Dublin, and Suffolk. We are pleased that the Suffolk Cemetery recently completed a major expansion and that a similar project will soon be underway at the Amelia Cemetery. If you all haven't had the opportunity to visit any of our veterans cemeteries in Virginia, I would strongly encourage that. And Virginia is home to a number of museums and memorials dedicated to honoring service members. From our Virginia War Memorial right here where we stand today, to the D-Day Memorial in Bedford, the National Museum of the Marine Corps in Quantico, and many more. Today, in fact, the National Museum of the United States Army will open to the public at Fort Belvoir. So in short, here in Virginia, we have a deep and wide bench of agencies and organizations working to support and honor our veterans for their service. And while today is Veterans Day, it is important that we keep the service and sacrifice of veterans in mind every day. So again, I say thank you to our veterans and to their families and partners. Virginia and this country are truly grateful. May God bless our veterans and their families, and may God bless and keep our service members safe. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to double down on what the governor said about students and education. Education is at the forefront of what we do here at the Virginia War Memorial. And we're very lucky today to be joined by a contingent of the Virginia War Memorial Foundation seated in the back. The foundation does hard work throughout the year to raise support for our educational programming, and we're very grateful for that. Education is a primary part of our mission, or as an old platoon sergeant of mine used to say, it's the reason we put our boots on in the morning. We are very happy this year to have offered the 5th annual Veterans Day essay contest. We received a fantastic response from students around the Commonwealth, and this year's essay theme was to describe a World War II veteran who inspires you. And we're very proud to have, again, our winners and their families joining us here today at the Virginia War Memorial. I'll introduce each one, and when I say your name, if you wouldn't mind standing up and waving to the crowd here and at home. Our middle school winner is 7th grader Neve Moreno from the Basilica School of St. Mary in Alexandria. Neve. And our high school winner is Matthew Mishkowski from Deep Run High School. Matthew. Again, a wonderful job by our students. No celebration of service, as today is, would be complete without some music. So the 380th Reserve Army Band will now perform the service medley. As always, whether you're here in Veterans Hall or located at home, when you hear the song of your specific service, please stand and be recognized. I know here on the stage, Commissioner Maxwell might feel a little outnumbered, but we'll see if folks here in the audience can balance that out a little bit. So, thank you. be seated. Gotta love that Army band. They always leave the best for last. All right. Even though we consider today a celebration of service, we should take a moment, as always, to remember those brave Virginians that paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. The nearly 4,000 Virginians from World War I, more than 12,000 from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, and the nearly 200 that have died in a global war on terror. They cannot celebrate with us today, but they are with us if we take time to remember. Please join me in a moment of silence for our fallen Virginians. Thank you. Governor Northam, Secretary Hopkins, Commissioner Maxwell, the 380th Army Reserve Band, Chad Hulsey, Staff Sergeant Jones, distinguished guests, for all of you watching at home, I'd like to thank you for participating today. Thank you to our partners from CBS 6 for teaming up with us to broadcast this program. And of course, thank you to our veterans. We could not live in the greatest nation and the greatest state without you. As those watching the broadcast at home will now hear from some of Virginia's veterans, I wish you all a very safe, a very healthy, and an inspiring Veterans Day. Thank you.
My name is Ted McCormack. I'm from the Midlothian area of Chesterfield County. I served in the United States Coast Guard from 1969 to 1973.
My name is Beverly Vance Hall. I am from Prince George, Virginia. I served in the U.S. Army from May.
I'm Kenneth Paul Lyles Jr. I'm from Gadsden, Alabama originally. I served from 2009 to 2016 in the United States Marine Corps.
Alfredo Torres from the Bronx, New York, and I served from 1992 to 2005.
My name is Bill Ashton. I'm from Queens, New York. I joined the United States Navy in August of 1976, and I retired in July.
I'm Megan Labuglio from Roanoke, Virginia. I served in the United States Air Force from 2001 until 2000.
I'm Denise Faircloth Williams. I'm originally from Portsmouth, Virginia. I served in the United States Marine Corps from January 1976.
My name is Phil Trezza, and I'm from Richmond, Virginia. And my branch is the United States Army. And my unit, at least when I deployed to Iraq, was 1st of the 14th Cavalry Regiment, 3rd Brigade, 2nd.
It was literally an Army ROTC recruiter at Howard University that invited me to sign up and try the summer camp, they called it. Little did I know it's really basic training. And the rest is history.
I joined the service right after I left high school. Wasn't ready to go to college. Really, to be honest with you, couldn't afford to go to college.
I joined the service because I needed money. That's the bottom line.
I was just looking for something different. I was looking to leave my hometown.
I faced a lot of loss as a teenager. Two of my best buddies passed away in car accidents, and I didn't just want to be another statistic, and I wanted to do something bigger than myself. I watched the Twin Towers go down when I was 16, and it really left a mark on me. That was probably the one real driving force of me joining.
I would define veteran as someone, man or woman, who has taken or who has accepted the call to serve others in a way that will protect and ensure the future of our way of life.
If you've ever raised your right hand and you swore an oath to protect and defend the United States of America, foreign and domestic, you're a veteran.
And you're there to support the country. Not just to support you, because it's bigger than you. that's the kind of camaraderie that you'll carry for the rest of your life.
Serving means to being part of a larger organization that is serving the country and whenever you're called upon.
Somebody who is willing to sacrifice their life for our country.
You're willing to kind of put yourself on the line for other people. So that's kind of something that all veterans share.
There's nobody who leaves who doesn't feel patriotic, who doesn't feel a call to service, who doesn't realize that there are things bigger than you.
So Veterans Day is a national holiday geared to recognition and appreciation for all the sacrifices that those families and those military people have made.
It is a day of reflection and appreciation from the greater part of the population who does not have these experiences.
It's a time to get together and share that common bond that you all have.
Veterans Day is a time when everybody should stop and thank a veteran because of what they did to protect the country that they live in. A Veterans Day is a recognition that the freedoms that we have are due in part to the members of the armed forces.
To all the men and women who have served our great country, thank you for your service. This has been the 64th Annual Commonwealth Veterans Day Ceremony from the Virginia War Memorial.